airsofters and YouTubers, it's finally here. I have the PTS Mega Arms, produced by Yikai, and basically it just came in about 2 days ago. I was actually supposed to get it sooner, but due to the weather, it didn't come on time. So basically here it is. Got the video going. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over it. We're going to do a full review on it. Going to do a FPS test and a rate of fire test. But before I got started, I just wanted to let everybody know that the rifle didn't come like this. It has my own taste on it, which most people already know. This here is the ACS stock by Magpul. I kind of prefer this one over the most of the other stocks due to the size of the rifle. The other thing was too, this is the L version. They make a regular version, and then this is the L. The L version is like a smaller stock. The stock that comes with the Mega Arms is a regular old crane stock. Has your battery compartments there, like usual. So, also took off the sights. I put the KSC flip-up sights on there. What comes with the Mega Arms is your standard looking A2 sight in the front and half sight in the back. Right? Took the flash hider off. I put my own Angel Custom flash hider on there. I have a vector sight on here. It has an arrow in the middle that illuminates blue, red, or green. I also put a Mission First Tactical grip on. And I also put these NSR rail covers on. And anybody that has messed with these NSR rail covers, let me tell you one thing, it is a bitch. So good luck trying to get them on. With that said, a couple things that come with the gun. This here will come with it. I feel it's important, so make sure you look over it. If you're not familiar with sizes and standards and stuff, this tells you about mil spec, commercial spec, stocks, rails, things like that. This way you can read over it. So when you do open it up, if you don't know too much about them, make sure you read through this. It'll tell you a lot. You'll learn a lot from this. Also, Airsoft GI. Chronoed my gun at 360 with .20s. Thank you, Airsoft GI, for shooting my shit before I got a hold of it. Appreciate that greatly. But with that said, I'm going to go over and chrono it myself right now with .20s, and then we'll come back and we'll go over it and see what she's got. So, meet me over at the chrono. Alright, so as you saw, I chronoed about from 270s to 290s. It is cold down here in the basement. It is about 55 degrees down here, so it's not the best GBB weather. I can tell you though that when I did get it in, the first mag I actually put through it and chronoed it, it did chrono 350. So that there is just from cool down from being in a cool area. But basically, with that said, let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to do an overlook of the outside of the gun. I'm going to pass it through the camera so everybody can see what the exterior of the rifle looks like. Got your key mod rail. There goes your body. There's a stock. Skeletonized trigger, flared magwell, and your trigger guard is also flared out. So there you go. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the internals and stuff like that, and we're going to get into this bad boy a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to break it apart, and we'll situate the camera a little bit so we can look at some other things closer. What we'll do is we'll start with the lower and then move on to the upper. So give me a few minutes here to break this apart, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that we have the two halves apart, this here is the lower half of the gun, we can start talking about some different things here on the gun itself. So basically, let's get started. We'll start from the back. The buffer tube is mil-spec. It fits mil-spec stocks. This here is a mil-spec Magpul stock. Fits on there fine. Has a little bit of wobble. Not much. It's even nicer because it does have that lock in there. The buffer tube is a matte black finish, and then you have your castle nut here for your buffer tube. Working our way forward, we still have the same old buffer stop here, still tiny, which is a downfall. I wish they would have did something a little bit different, especially coming out with a new rifle, knowing that people were complaining about it. That there is still small. Comes with a plastic buffer, and then you have your buffer spring. Now these do still twang when you get these brand new out the box. By twanging, what I mean is when you pull the trigger and shoot the rifle, you'll hear it. It'll twang inside the buffer tube like that. The best way to get rid of that twang is to tweak your spring a little bit, just by turning it and making it a little bit fatter in certain spots, and it'll get rid of that twang for you. That's an old trick I learned from Booby GBB. And once again, your plastic buffer there. Now the trigger set is still the same old like the LM4. Same exact setup. What we're going to do here is check for steel. So we'll start with the body pins. Body pins are steel. We're going to start next with the hammer triggers pins, which are both steel. Your screw for your mag release is steel. Steel. And now the hammer. Hammer is steel, and the roller is plastic, but the hammer's still steel. Bolt catch is steel. Now let's see. No. Your buffer lock is not steel, and it seems like it has a lot of play in it too. I don't know if you can see that. Seems like the buffer is stopped there, has a lot of play. I'm going to have to see if I can tighten it up a little bit. But moving on from there, the selector is not steel. Your sear down on the inside there is still steel. Now we're going to have a problem getting that bad boy out of there. Yeah, she's down in there pretty good. So we'll just leave it in there for now because we pretty much went over everything that was steel. I'll just make sure I get it back out. But basically, moving on, what we're going to do is look on the exterior. Now, it says in the manual that it is a hard anodized finish. If you ask me, it is the same exact finish that was on the LM4, which is very disappointing. PTS went and made this great looking gun. I mean, it's just amazing on how good it looks. And the problem with that is you made such a great looking gun, but yet you put such a crappy finish on there. I mean, the gun looks good, but after about a month or so of playing with rubbing up against your vest, you know, running in and out of buildings, bumping the gun is just going to start looking like complete shit because of the finish on it. So that's basically a big downfall for me. One other thing, the skeletonized trigger isn't steel. I mean, if you're going to sit there and put in the great looking trigger like it is, I really like that trigger. Why not make it steel with everything else? I mean, it has a steel front. As you can see, the magnet still stuck to the front. It has a steel insert in the front of the trigger to catch the hammer, but the trigger itself here is not steel. They should have just made that steel, stop cutting corners on some of that stuff. But like I said, the body's just amazing. Mega Arms, I love the way they designed their lowers and their uppers. As you can see there, it's got some great engravings on it, and just an amazing looking lower. I love the way it looks. Just the finish. I mean, even the PTS trademarks, it's not too bad. I could kind of deal with them better than the KWA LM4 trademarks, but still, that finish, man. But so moving on from there, I'm going to situate the camera again, and we're going to take a look at the upper and see what's up with that. Alright, so what I have in front of me here is the Mega Upper with the Keymod rail on it. We're going to be taking a look at this now. Now with the Mega Upper, it is a beautiful looking upper. I mean, it's so nicely designed. It looks nice and beefy. The outside, great engravings here. Once again, still a crappy finish. You can tell the finish right here, okay? This is anodized. This is the anodized rail. This isn't. You can just tell by looking at it. You can also tell by feeling it, what's anodized and what's not. Just by putting my sight on, you can see here I already marred a piece of the upper here, just because of the finish is so shitty on it. I'll get over it. You know, I'll figure something out. Maybe just do something else with it. Who knows? But let's take out the bolt here. Regular standard looking LM4 KWA charging handle. Not steel. Nothing special about that. You have your standard looking KWA LM4 bolt here. Let's see. Of course it's steel. Nice upgrade. Well, not upgrade. It's actually nice to have a steel bolt that comes with the gun, to be honest. You got your plastic nozzle here with a metal BB feed lip and nozzle here in the front. Return spring, and then back here is where you would take your that C-clamp off here, and then you can slide your nozzle out and your spring. So moving on from there, what we're going to be looking at is your dust cover. Dust cover is steel, but the problem with that is it is not a real steel compatible dust cover. So if you go to put a real steel dust cover on here, it's not going to fit right. You're not going to be able to close it like that. You're just going to have to keep it down. You can put it on, but you can't close it. So that's how that works. Looking inside the upper here, I am looking for blemishes or marks, and it doesn't look like it's billet. Some people are saying it's billet. I think I see a little mark down here where you see like little pits. So it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not billet. Looking on the inside here, let me see if I have a flashlight around here, which I don't think I do. Nope. But it still has the same LM4 hop-up unit. They called it a System 7, I believe it was. That's what I've been told. So basically a new unit in there, which is going to get swapped out for the R8 unit, barrel, and the maple leaf bucking. Moving forward, we have our Keymod rail. Now the Keymod rail, I must say, it's different, it's new, but I will never buy a Keymod rail again. I really don't care for it. A couple reasons. One, the accessories for the Keymod rails are so damn expensive. It breaks bank just trying to buy a slot for it. For instance, if you want to buy a, let's say, a 5-slot rail for it. Now, a 5-slot rail is about that big. Alright, a 5-slot rail is $30 from Noveske for the Keymod rail. If you look on the other side here, I actually have a ICW tack light mount for the M300 Surefire replica here, and this here was $60. I paid for that. It fits on there nice, looks nice, but they're pretty expensive. And there's not too much you can do with the Keymod rails as far as customizing, which I'll get into here in a minute, because I'm actually going to take this rail off and explain some things about the upper and the rail itself, about swapping them, because a lot of people are asking, can you take this rail off and put a different rail on? And I'll help explain that to you. So but yeah, basically it's the Keymod rail. As you can see on here, I got some, you know, covers on here from Noveske. These are the NSR covers, which are a complete bitch to get on. So good luck with them if you're deciding to put them on. The rail on the top has a Picatinny rail, which is seamless. It gives you that seamless look here in the front. As you can see, it looks like it's a monolithic upper, but it's not. It's actually a two-piece. You got your rail, and then you have your upper here. Alright, now one other thing that's a big plus from the LM4. The upper is a solid piece upper. It is not a three-piece upper. Big plus. People that don't know the difference between a 1-piece and a 3-piece upper, just imagine an AEG upper on a gas blowback rifle. That's all you got to imagine. A 3-piece upper I really don't care for on gas blowback rifles because it's not high quality. I prefer a 1-piece upper, and you know, at least you can make sure that it's tough enough. So that's a big plus. 1-piece upper. And what we're going to do now is you're going to give me a few minutes here, and I'm actually going to take this rail off to show you a couple things. We went and got all the screws out here. Now this is for everybody that's asking, can you change this rail? I'm going to show you the biggest problem you're going to have with swapping this rail out for another one. The problem is that this upper here actually extends all the way out to here. Okay, and then this rail actually bolts to the upper from the outside like so, as you can see here. Now the barrel nut threads into the upper, not onto the upper. Now if you don't know what I'm saying, like for instance, right here is a regular M4. This here is your Delta ring, and this ring threads onto the upper. You can actually see it. It threads onto it. Now for the Mega Arms, it actually threads to the inside of the upper, which I'll show you here. Let me take this rail off. Excuse me. As you can see, the whole upper here extends out. I already scratched the barrel there. Screw it. And then right here is your barrel nut. Okay, as you can see, it threads in to the upper, not on the upper, on the outside here. So the problem is going to be trying to find a rail, okay, if you can, to fit on top of this octagonal shape here, and making it look and fit like this. Okay, now that's the biggest problem. I personally don't know or think of any other rails that can actually fit onto this ring here and then bolt to it. If you ask me, from my experience and from my opinion, I think that this rail here is the only rail that can go on to this upper. If you ask me, I think it's proprietary, and I'm not 100%, so please don't hold me to it. I'm just giving you my opinion. And basically that's the way it goes. And in order to get this here barrel nut out, you need a proprietary, wrench for it. So, which I'm pretty sure I can make one for, and we'll see how that goes. Here you got your gas rod and your gas block. I'm gonna have to, damn, finished already. So I'm gonna have to take care of that now. But that's basically the rail assembled from the upper there, and I hope that explains a lot to people with the rail and being able to swap it out. Other than that, let me get this bad boy back together, and I will give you my final thoughts on the Mega Arms. On the Mega Arms by PTS. Before I do that real quick, I just want to show you, I did get the magnet back out, and the trigger is not steel. Okay, just I know I said it, but I wanted to make sure I showed it. My personal opinion, I give the Mega Arms PTS a 8 out of 10. Taking off points for a couple reasons. One, the finish on the gun. I feel like, they could have did something better with such a beautiful gun. They should have did something better with the finish. Two, there's parts on the gun that should have been upgraded from the last LM4 that they made, such as the buffer lock. They should have upgraded that. And why not put a steel trigger in there? You got this beautiful skeletonized trigger. Why not put that in there? All right. So I took points off for that as well. The other thing too that really doesn't bother me too much is the fact that it's kind of hard to customize this rifle unlike the LM4. The LM4, you could buy stuff for it, customize it how you want. Basically, what you see with this package is pretty much almost what you get. With the rail and the body. Other than that, she's a beautiful rifle. It's an amazing looking body. I love the design of the Mega Arms. I just love the way it looks. The rail and all that, I can live with it. No big deal. As it is right now is the way I like it, so this is the way it's going to stay. It's still a beautiful shooter. I mean, it's a typical LM4 KWA style shooting style with it still. Still shoots far, still shoots nice, crisp. The gas consumption is still one of the best out there on the market, in my opinion. So she's still an amazing shooter. She's an amazing looker. It's just the little odds and ends that they could have did differently, they should have. And in my opinion, I wouldn't mind paying a couple more dollars for them to do it the better way than it would be to try to cut a corner on such a beautiful looking rifle. But other than that, I mean, it's just great looking. Sorry, hit the camera there. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to shoot it real quick so you can see the bolt action. Alright, so that's it. That there is the Mega Arms by PTS. I hope you enjoyed my review on it. I hope I showed you some things that you haven't seen yet and try to explain some things that you didn't quite understand about it. And I hope this also helps with your decision on purchasing the rifle. So if you have any questions or whatever, leave them down in the comments and I'll see what I can do. But until then, as usual, stay true and I'll see you next time.